Welcome back, and we are coming live from the Salam Media Studios with myself, Nafeesa Dangor, with the Mid Morning Show, and definitely an interesting, phenomenal one. Talking about phenomenal people, there's a gentleman that I'm going to be speaking to who has been so selfless and defined. Should we say the word education in another way? He's not just educated himself, but has realized and defined a need. And as we know, the education sector has been really struggling on, especially due to COVID-19. People have been, excluded from the financials due to the constraints of not having enough in the budgets and things like that. And that didn't stop Wits SRC President Cebolenkosi Khumalo to raise funds for those that have been excluded from the financial section of Wits situation itself. So he's really done something phenomenal, and we're going to be speaking to him this morning about how he's gotten this right. 12 million rands down the line. That's absolutely amazing. A very good morning to you, and welcome to the show, Cebolenkosi.
Hi, can
Sebo,
you
are
hear
you
me?
on the line? Yes, I can. I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. You are a true inspiration to other individuals in the education sector. Sebo, are you
I
there?
can't seem to hear. If you can.
You can't hear me. Let me just check my microphone. It is on. Um, sure. Can you hear me now, Sebo? Are you not getting any sound from me? Okay. Give me a second. Let's try that again. Let me just tell you a little bit about Sebo while we're trying to get him back on the line. He's a phenomenal person. He belongs to the SRC. He is the president of the SRC. Cebolenkosi Khumalo has raised 12 million rand for students to clear a portion of their debt that will help them register for the 2022 academic year. One of the biggest challenges facing students in the tertiary education, as we know, is the inability to pay their fees. A lot of them come from underprivileged backgrounds, and of course, wanting to educate themselves to move themselves into a better space, but not having the financial constraints. That's where the problem comes in, and this is where Tsebo has decided that he's going to help them out. The SRC has tried various methods of highlighting this issue and pressurizing the relevant role players to take note, including through protest action. However, following the tragic death in March 2021 of Mtokosizi Tuba, he was killed in a crossfire between students and police. The Wits SRC are looking at peaceful ways to raise the funds, and I think that's a better way to do it. To the end, on the 2nd of the February 2022, Kamala has done something absolutely phenomenal. And that's what we want to try and speak to him about and get him on the line. He has decided that he's going to do his own fundraising idea of getting these people that are struggling to pay their funds. And let's, you know, look at it from a different perspective where he's become selfless and said, it's not just about educating myself, but getting others educated through reaching out to them. So let's see if we can get him back on the line and chat to him about his phenomenal concept that he came up with to help these particular students. Are you back online, Sebo? Are you there?
Yes, I'm back. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back to the show. And I was just telling our viewers a little bit about you. Talk to us about yourself and what edged you on. And I mean, it's so difficult because we know that many as students come from an underprivileged background, and it's very difficult. And as we know, the funds that you raised is phenomenal because we know that education does not come at a reasonable price. So, talk to us about what you experienced and what made you decide to do what you did.
Thank you very much for having us. So I think first it must be important to state that my story is a story of almost each and every South African. Um, you do your matric. You are told that look, there is not fast, so you don't need to worry. So do well. You do very well, and you get to university. The moment you get to a university, you realize that no, actually, the systems that are there, be it from NSFAS or the government fundings that are there, they are actually not working. So over the years, when I was studying at the university, obvious we've seen protest action working, actually being able to assist students, but also we've seen them costing the lives of many people. Then when I was elected as the Wits SRC president,
Mm,
actually what motivated me to run was that I believed that there are new ways of actually doing things. And if you can look
mm,
into how the youth of your state Biko actually was changing the society, was that they had actual programs that were going out to touch on community members, building
mm,
hospitals, teaching the communities, which is the same approach which is taken by the VET that um, going into a protest, we said, let us speak to South African corporate.
mm,
Let us speak with the embassies that are in the country. Let us
mm.
speak with the individuals that might be able to actually advance what we're saying, to say we can actually resolve the issue of registration without having to spill a blood or to kill a life.
I really love that concept of yours, Tsebo. Reason being that you've decided to do this the peaceful way, the amicable way, which I think makes a lot more sense. And I think people then respect you and take you more seriously when you bring it to the fore in that particular way, as opposed to taking to the streets and having these protests. Because I think people will want to listen to your plight and the situation that the students are facing.
Yes, definitely. I think there was a time where even our previous leaders sort of tried to approach maybe government or the individuals that were running your Department of Higher Education. They were not willing to listen. But over the years, because they've seen the violence it brings, I think they are now at a position where they are able to listen. And we're saying, as the youth and the leadership of now, our role is not only to protest, but our role is to develop and actually find solutions and implement them. And by the position that the VET FRC has taken, we actually developing solutions
Mm,
and implementing them, which I think is a position that can assist a lot of universities, because we have seen that it not only costs lives, but it also destroys institutions of higher learning, and also it affects the mental health of majority of students that are involved in protest
mm,
action. But with that
mm.
being said, obvious, um, there are some institutions that probably would not be like that, but would not be willing to listen. Obvious, our students will be forced then to go into protest action. But so far, with that management under Professor Zedlon Villegas, we've been able to sit down on the table, negotiate, compromise where we must compromise, and the
Mm,
university compromises where they compromise. I think which is a way of actually being able to govern universities by listening to each other, the same way that brought South Africa the peace it has from apartheid days. Thank you.
mm. And I like the idea of the fact that you've brought up the word communication, because that I think has bridged the gap for Wits to understand the plight of the students, and for you to bring it to the fore for them to actually understand what it is that you are facing. Because, as we know, NASFAS can only reach out that much. And there's so many students that are coming from underprivileged backgrounds that are really struggling. And the reason they're coming to study is obviously they want to move themselves into a better space where they can educate themselves and then go into the business environment where they can learn to fend for themselves. But unfortunately, due to the fact that they don't have, should we say, those type of positions where they can not pay for the type of education. It's great to see people like yourself be so selfless and go out there and try and assist them in many ways. And I think others besides yourself should join in on it. So let's talk about this. I found this very interesting. On the 2nd of February, you walked 66 kilometers from the Wits Great Hall to the Union buildings with the aim of raising awareness for this cause, which I thought was absolutely grand, because this is the idea. It's about creating the awareness, as you said earlier, through the peaceful version of doing things.
Thank you. So on the, I think a night before second, I sat down with my colleagues and my team, and they were asking me, um, what are you going to do for your birthday? Then I thought to say, because by being a president of an institution like that, you are in the public space. So then
Mm,
the special days we celebrate in our lives, we must celebrate them in an impactful way. Then that's when we thought of saying, let us then embark on a campaign. And we planned everything. And then even at the night before, I was really not sure because I was like, the distance will be a lot. But
mm,
because of the struggles that I've seen the students facing in institutions of higher learning, we then said we are doing it, and we woke up. I think it was around 4. We started working at 5, and we chose a strategic route on our way because where we were working, we were challenging specific companies, passing in specific business family trust of powerful families, just challenging them. Even when we passed in Sandton, we passed in Rosebank, even when we got to Pretoria, we made sure that we use the route of embassies because we understand that some of them, they are actually interested in ensuring that there is peace in South Africa, and they are willing to assist in advancing the interest of our students to secure the future of South Africa. So then we challenge majority of them pay
mm.
each per kilometer that was traveled, we were getting donations of at least 100K, which then allowed us
Wow.
by the time we get to union buildings to be at 6 million. And then when we got to union buildings, then we were able to challenge the first management to say, here is what we have done.
Mm-hmm.
You said there are 2,000 students who are at the risk of financial exclusion, and
Mm,
12 million is what is needed. We have raised the other half. Come on board and donate the other half, of which
mm,
the management actually came through and they donated the other 6. At the end of the
mm,
day, we had 12 million. And then
mm,
2 days after, we got more donations. Just that I haven't checked today on how far the donations are going, but I know we're spending at around 14.7 million. And the money is aimed
mm,
at ensuring that all students can register. And the process opened last night for first
mhm,
students. But however, we must note that this is only a temporal solution because the issue is that NASFAS is not working. It's not about NASFAS not being able to cover everyone. NASFAS
mm,
as a system is not working. We need to deal away with that system. We need to be able to wipe out debt of all students. So as the VET we're in the process of developing a model that will clear
mm,
out all students' debt without having to tie students into any contract. Um, because if you look into countries such as your
mm.
Germany and your Singapore, they are able to actually allow their students to graduate without any debt, which creates a different generation of citizens in our country.
Most definitely, I agree with you there, and I like the vision that you have. I can see you a definite leader. That's what you are. You have that leadership qualities where you look at things from a realistic point of view, but also from a peaceful point of view. And I think you've become a role model to many others that would like to, of course, assist you in bringing this thing forward and making people understand. And I like the idea that you've also thought of changing the model, because if something's not working, then change has to happen. And I'm glad that from a leadership perspective you've realized that you need to look at a different way and a different perspective to be able to bring those funds in order to help those students that are in dire need.
Thank you. I more than anything, the issue in our society is that the moment you call people so-called leadership, They want to sit in higher position without working. We are servants of the students. We are servants of the communities, of the societies of South Africa. And our positions should be understood from that position of being servants. We are sent by people, we are voted by people. We must do our work. I believe that South Africa has a bright future. I believe that we have young people who are willing to make things work from different cultures and different races. Because if you look at this campaign that we did, we actually had almost different individuals from each and every society and race that exists. Everyone came into board and said, let's avoid violence, let's avoid spilling blood. And like we said, we have a working model, and we're just finalizing a bit of touch-ups. Our aim is that the next generation of students that are coming next year, they must graduate without having to owe any debt. You'll find that an average South African majority that are black, they graduate owing the institution $500,000. At the same time, you are unemployed. Already you are set up to fail. So our aim is to eradicate these struggles, to allow them to focus on themselves, but also to have the best interest of the country. Because also we have a large youth of our people moving out of the country because of these struggles.
That's so true. Stick with us. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back with you in a minute.
Thank you.
From the townships of South Africa, the refugee camps in Syria, or orphanages in Yemen, the eyes of the needy speak volumes with just one glare. We know what it's like to be at ground zero, with food essentials, clothing and blankets, fresh water portal trucks, and even on-site navigators. We use every cent to better their tomorrow. Become part of our journey to bring relief to all. Go to www.ashrafulaid.org or call us on 011-809-8181. Ashraful Aid, under the auspices of Maulana Suhail Wadi.
Babu, why don't you loosen your belt a bit more?
But why now?
Well, it's very tight, blocking air to your brain.
Haju, this is only a start. I need to tighten up a bit more. Funds are tight and the cost of living is high.
Funds are not tight. It's your haram insurance which is tightening our barakat.
Okay, Haju. I will call my insurance friend tomorrow.
Maybe I must tighten up on my cooking from now on too.
No, Haju, we don't need to tighten up. It's okay. Look, I'm even throwing away my belt.
Don't tighten your belt. Change your insurance. Leaving Riba Insurance is easier than you think. Call Amana IFS for all your personal and commercial takaful needs. 0861 786 393. Amana, leave Riba for good. Amana IFS is a registered financial services provider.
As the crisis in Palestine continues, the Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground facilitating emergency food and medical assistance to the affected families. Donate 15,000 rand or any amount and help the people of Palestine. Call AMA now on 083-251-9376 or donate online at Africa Muslims Agency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Reliable access to clean water could save thousands of lives each day. With proper sanitation and easy access to fresh, clean water, communities can flourish. Our Thirst Relief Appeal provides clean water to communities in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East by building deep wells and providing sustainable water and hygiene solutions. A monthly donation of as little as 700 Rand could build a well for a community in need. That's only 23 Rand a day. Donate today, www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal, small change, big difference.
Southern Africa Dawa Network is a non-profit organization striving to uplift the disadvantaged and empowering through education and Dawa. Donate to the SADN centers, the MA Motala Islamic Center, as well as our Islamic centers in Amoti, Imtalumi, Botshabelo and Castile. Donate your zakat and lillah today. Contact Farooq Sheikh 076 321 0650, Yusuf Mohammadi 072 259 3457, or the SADN head office 031 304 8000. Our account, Standard Bank, account number 050 856 294 for your zakat, or 050 879 790 for your lillah. Dawah through education, education through Dawah, the Southern Africa Dawah Network.
Are you looking to be inspired, uplifted, and empowered? The Mid-Morning Talk Show with Nafeesa Dangor is here to showcase positive inspiration that will entice you to change your perspective and uplift your well-being.
The first step to recovery in any kind of situation.
We're trying to create critical thinkers, critical leaders.
What gives me passion? What brings purpose?
Change your mindset, reach out and uplift those in need.
Is there happiness in what you're doing? So are you just...
So we need to view slavery in the context of today's terms and sometimes we don't venture beyond our own spaces. We only stick to what we are used to.
Tune into the Mid-Morning Talk Show on Thursdays between 11 and 1 p.m. to be enticed into different spaces where we uncover the true meaning of love and positivity.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Welcome back to the show, and it's talking about creating better spaces as far as education is concerned. And as we know, our beloved Tata Nelson Mandela believed fully in education, and that's why we say it's really important to be able to uplift and empower people. And still with me on the line, I have the Wits SRC President, Cebolenkosi Khumalo. Welcome back to the show. And as we were talking about what it meant for you to walk that 66 kilometers, how you managed to, of course, have a really nice amicable chat to Wits to be able to make you raise that 12 million Rand. And I'm sure that's meant a lot to you, Tsebo. I'm calling you Tsebo. I hope you don't mind. But to be able to create a better platform, knowing that you have people maybe from a similar town like yourself or others that are going to be educated. And it's the most valuable gift you can give somebody.
Thank you. Our role in institutions of higher learning is to contradict, develop, and find solutions, because we cannot be acting as if we are the youth of tomorrow. We are the youth of now. We're the leadership of now. So our actions are meant to inspire those that are around us. And we also learn from those that have come before us that we can make the change that is needed. There are, however, still problems we have in institutions of higher learning, because as much as we might have tried to fix the issue of registration, we might have to try to fix the issue of accommodation. Recently, there is an issue of over-acceptance in institutions of higher learning, whereby universities gave offers to students, and students accepted those specific offers. But then when they try to register, they are told that you cannot register due to space, which doesn't make sense. And we have a similar problem at Wits University. Many of our students are affected by this issue. We've engaged with the Department of Education, and we're waiting for their response, because here we're speaking about students who have done exceptionally well after being put in rough conditions, students that didn't have electricity, students that didn't even have a proper place to study, students that didn't even have access to devices, but they managed to do well, get 7 distinctions. They have
Wow.
they have NASFAS. Families have saved money to put them where they are today, but the moment they try to register, they are being told that they cannot, which is very sad and painful because remember, our people were told that, look, if you want to get into varsity, make sure that you pass. Students sacrifice everything. Parents sacrifice everything they have to make sure that their students pass. And then after they have passed, now they're being told that they cannot register, which is very painful. And I would want South African society, students, the government, and invite all universities to actually increase their spaces in these institutions of higher learning, because what they are doing, they are destroying bright minds. They are
Most
destroying
definitely.
the future of this country. This is what causes mental health. This is what causes suicide amongst the youth. Because how do you even start to tell a student that go and stay home with 6 distinctions, with a buzzer on their head? How do you tell parents to say that the child will not be able to study while they have done everything that they were told they must do?
I so agree with you there, Tebo. I understand the type of plights now that tertiary education is facing. And as I said before, I want to commend you once again. And on behalf of the team, we want to say we're really inspired by the fact that you've been such a selfless person and have raised funds to be able to help the people and change the model, as you said, of thinking and working forward to find better ways to change the version of education and how we get those funds in. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, we seem to have run out of time. We, of course, want to see you carry on moving those models forward and moving those students forward. Congratulations. You've been doing a phenomenal job as Wits SRC president. You've definitely filled your role in many a direction.
Thank you very much for having us.
It was only a pleasure. You take care of yourself and all the best of success. And you definitely have our support from the Salah Media team.
Thank you very much.
Do take care. And that was, of course, Cebo, the SRC president from Wits, talking to us about the type of constraints they're facing and what he's done and the models he's changed to get a better environment going as far as education is concerned. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in a moment.